How are you doing? This is Martin from Gardens for Life. In this video I'm going to show you around our garden a little bit. It's the end of November now, actually the last week of November, and we are starting to dig up some of our tubers as the winter starts taking its toll on our plants here in the garden. As you can see in the background here, the Jerusalem artichokes are definitely ready to be harvested. They have fully reseeded into the ground now, reliably so, usually in November. But our mashuas are not quite ready yet. Usually those are only ready about probably mid-December as they bulk up in the first 2 weeks of December. For those of you who are looking for tubers to grow in your own gardens, or cuttings, or even shelter belts, or willow cuttings and poplar, and we also have berry bushes as well, and comfrey and horseradish. For those of you who want to take a look at our website and get some starts, please take a look below. Don't forget, we have the homesteading workshop day coming up again. The first 3 workshops that we actually hosted were completely sold out. If you're looking to learn more about homesteading, please take a look at our demo video below. I'll put a link in the shop. It's 6 different workshops all on one day, and it's all about growing your own food, preserving it, keeping chickens for egg production, herbal remedies, and backup power and lights, and home brewing. Last quick announcement now, our No Dig online course is almost finished. It's almost ready to be fully viewed. We have uploaded most of the chapters already. We're just finishing up the last chapter and a half. And for those of you who want to have a look at it, you can watch the intro videos for free, and you can also enroll for the course on our website as well. There's 22 lessons, so over 3 hours of video material, and there's going to be a quiz at the end of every chapter, and you're going to have lifetime access. The Jerusalem artichokes are ready to be harvested now, like you've seen in the last video. The mashuas are hanging in there, probably 1 or 2 more little frosts and they'll be gone. Now, this garden here I'm not particularly proud of because it's a little bit chaotic. We had a big patch of rocket salad here actually, that's self-seeded, and some chard as well. So these garden beds have all fused into one another, so we no longer need the paths that much because it's more productive this way. Mainly all the crops are perennial, but also low maintenance. That means they'll actually just grow. You just plant them early on in the growing season, like mashua for example, or Yacon. These are the Yacons here. You can see they have completely reseeded. You can see the rest of them there too. Yeah, those kind of crops don't require any maintenance whatsoever until you're going to dig them up. So we might dig up some of those actually today. And you have a mixture of different kales here. Black Magic is a variety of Black Tuscany, and the beautiful Tawed, which cannot be grown from seed because it never goes to flower. But it can be grown from a cutting. If you're interested in cuttings or plants or tubers, take a look at our website. We do sell them there. We have a few oregano plants here, a few little marshmallow plants here, a few small rhubarbs, artichokes, red Russian kale. This is actually lovage. We cut that back a bit. We might cut it back a bit more so it'll come back next year. This is the red Russian kale that has self-seeded for the 4th year in a row now. What are you doing here? Did you get a Jerusalem artichoke stalk? Good man. Did you cut that yourself? So these are the Josta berries. As you can see, they're still going. I don't know how, but most of the currants are starting to fade away now and go to sleep for the winter. Go dormant. And you can see we got some nice wood down here though. We can make lots of new plants with those, and we also send those out to people that have bought them on the website. More Jerusalem artichokes here. That's fuzao. Look at all these mashua flowers. The mashua actually climbed up all the way. You can climb many meters, maybe 5 or 6 meters tall. Oh, these Yacon plants can be dug up now, I'd say. There isn't much left of the leaves now. Still a few left, but sure, look, you might as well dig them up. You can actually see the growing tips here in the bottom. Take a look at that. Those are the growing tips. And tubers, the edible part, will be underground. Some raspberries, our birdland variety. It's a new variety of mashua here. It's actually a darker colour one. There's a few garlic coming up. This is an area that we need to plant some elephant garlic into. We didn't get around to that yet. Still can be done. Some beetroots. Oh. I'd say we're going to dig up these mashua plants today because we need some mashuas to send out to you. Look at the flowers. They're not just pretty, they're also tasty. Really sweet. And more mashuas. They tend to spread a little bit, and that's perfectly okay because we don't really need the pats during the second half of the growing season because we have mainly low maintenance plants anyway, like this Chinese potato. We were hoping to get some air potatoes off it, but we did not. Only flowers though. There's the motherwort that's gone to seed. And that's what it looks like when it's not in seed yet. And here's the flowers. See these currants here, they're actually ready to go. They have lost the leaves now, so the wood can now be harvested for cuttings. Same as the black currants. These are actually white currants. These are black currants here. This is our own variety. This is Birdland Cottage or Birdland. It's really good black currants, really big berries. Almost as big as Josta berries, I'd say. If not even bigger. These are Josta berries, they haven't lost their leaves yet. A few ochas in between. We could dig up a few of them just to beat the rodents to it. They haven't been hit by a frost hard enough yet to lose their leaves yet. But soon I'm sure there'll be a frost sufficient to take them down. There's a few bits of grasses popping up here, but they'll be superficially rooted. We can pull those up very easily. There's the rabbit's favourite. It's a dandelion. We'll cut the leaves of that and then give it to our rabbits. You can see at the end of each of the gardens here, this is actually more of a perennial garden now. These are no-dig garden beds. And at the end here we have some flowering shrubs, like various varieties of buddleia and some couple of different varieties of elderberry as well, like the hashberk. That's the main commercial variety in Europe. And in behind that is the shelter belt, which is comprised mainly of willow and poplar and some wild fruit trees. Well, when you take a look, this is an area actually that we're going to use as a insect pile, where we simply just throw sticks onto, or any kind of brush that we have from the garden. And this is one of the willows, very productive. Look at that, we even cut it back cut it right back last winter because we actually sold out of willow cuttings completely. And look how many there is in it now. Isn't that amazing? That's just one or two plants in that. One or two trees, I should say. And these are freshly planted willows last winter, and they've taken off quite well, considering they've been half smothered by the grasses. Look, sure, the grasses grew about a foot or foot and a half tall between them, and they still did okay. When we mulch those, they'll grow very quickly. They'll grow about 2 or 3 times the speed. Let's take a quick look at the front garden here. Haven't made a path here yet. We didn't get this far yet. You can see this is the front garden, and when you consider what this looked like in spring earlier this year, it was nowhere near as developed as it is now. It looks a little chaotic this time of year though, but it'll take very little to clean it up. It's very productive though. Let's take a quick look here. This is actually a horseradish plant. We're going to get a big harvest of horseradish from that. Another variety of raspberries here. These nettles need to be taken care of. We have lemon balm. I'm not quite proud to show you this front garden at this time of year because it could do with a clean-up at this stage. But at the same time, it's still very productive. These are flowering currants. There's actually a comfrey plant that can be harvested. And this is a great mullein plant that I have harvested. Curly willow, corkscrew willow. And from here you can see the willow shelter belt. It's blocking most of the wind now. Even when the leaves aren't on, it's blocking a lot of the wind into our garden, and it protects all of our cultivated plants. It's another variety of willow. It's actually really pretty. Look at the colour of it. It's kind of black, like dark ochre or dark red. And look at that. The Olympic mullein is relentless at flowering. It just flowers for about 6 months in our garden. And you can see we do need to cut back this hedge a little bit and try to take care of it. Hello, how are we now? I'm just showing the front garden. Yeah, this edge entirely needs to be actually cut back a bit and taken care of. There's a big thyme plant here. And these are raspberries. Now they do spread, but at the same time we can harvest those back. So we can just harvest all the ones near the path and use them elsewhere. Still no pears off this tree or plums off this tree. These trees have been planted here 4 years ago, and they were out of all your little fruit trees, but not great. It is almost time to harvest these willows. They do look quite magnificent whether they have the leaves on or not. When they have the leaves on they look a bit tropical, but even in the winter time they do block the wind when they have their leaves discarded. You can see there's still a few leaves on. This is the end of November now, and normally you'd expect them to have shed all their leaves at this stage, but it was a mild winter so far. Hopefully it'll stay that way, but You can see there's a lot of wood here, a lot of cuttings. Some of them are a little thicker. But we cut those back deliberately so that they bush out more and so that we get more cuttings as well. And we get more protection from the wind. It's mainly a shelter belt, but also it produces a lot of wood for us, which we use for cuttings, and when we have enough of it, we'll use it for wood chips as well. You can see these are some newer ones that have been planted in the shade, but then the older ones, they grow quite big now at this stage. Yeah. In our greenhouse we have the Madeira vine. As you can see, it's still going, and those leaves are still perfectly edible. We never had them this late in the year. And we are going to harvest some of those tubers. The tubers will be underground here. Normally, once you get a hard frost, even inside the greenhouse here, it will actually freeze and take down those leaves. This is a goji berry. It's actually one of 5 varieties that we have that is actually going to flower, but we have not had berries yet. Let's see how it goes. Even the leaves are a valuable crop on these for tea, very healthy. And this is salt bush, which has literally exploded. It's 2 years old, and it started off from a little tiny cutting, just a little cutting like this. We started off this plant. Let me show you the fig trees here. Fig trees are starting to recede too. You can see the figs here, but we do not want figs yet. We want the trees to grow, so we get some wood and grow some more fig trees instead. These are fig trees too. It's all different varieties. We have Persian black, black mission, and we have brown turkey. This area is mainly used for starting off plants in the spring, but we haven't actually used it this year. And we are drying garlic here usually, and orphrey, which is the perennial leek, and some of these seeds as well. We're seed pods off the Olympic mullen. As you can see, these are the orphrey, or perennial bulbous leek. They don't always grow that big, but you can see they kind of grow in a cluster like that. A bit like garlic, very similar to garlic. Here's a cluster now. And you can see they're trying to grow now. So we're going to store those or plant them. So this is the most exciting part of this little tour. I'm going to show you our little tuber jungle, if you want to call it that. Look at this. So there's a mixture of different plants here, mainly Yacon and Mashua and Oka. But you can see there is still some activity here. The leaves haven't all receded, but we will be harvesting some of those too shortly now. Again, here is the Mashua leaves that have been frost damaged. And this is literally a jungle of Yacon plants, and they do get quite tall as well, about 2 meters. So I expect these plants to be very large now. There's probably harvests below for maybe about 5 to 10 kilos of tubers per plant. Just like the ones we dug up last year with our Yacon video, the main Yacon video. But we'll be making plenty more now. See, the willows still have some leaves. Normally this time of year they'd have them all lost already. but at the end of each of the branches you can see they still have leaves on, so they haven't gone 100% fully dormant. However, we are already starting to send out willow cuttings, so if you did order any, we will be doing our best to get those out to you in the next week or two. Alright, thanks a million for watching the video, for those of you who are still here, and if you're looking for tubers again, take a look at our website. We'd highly appreciate your support, and please give us a thumbs up if you don't mind.